In today's video, we are going to be talking about T5 troops and what path you should take for unlocking your first T5 compared to your last T5 and what order you should do them in. So stick around in this video for all the information you're going to need. Let's get it. Welcome back to CO Gaming, and today we are talking about T5 units and what your priority should be when unlocking them. So let's just kind of jump right into this video and get this underway. So first and foremost, we're going to go over to this screen here to our research, and when you are unlocking your T5 units, the most important thing to think about is going to be the fighting situations that you're going to be in when in the game and in war situations. So if you've played this game since the beginning, you already know that the biggest part of fighting in this game is going to be ball fights. Ball fights are just everywhere. It is the prime fighting source, so it's something to take into consideration when picking what T5 unit you want to go for first, unless you're just outright unlocking all of them at one time, as most people do not get to do that unless you're able to just spend as much money as you can until you get it done. So with that being said, our priority is going to kind of go like this. So what you want to do for ball fights is mages are going to be your by far best unit for those fighting situations because of all the AoE damage, and they hit everything around within a certain radius. So, with that being said, like, mages are just amazing for those type of fights. So that's why I would put your mages as your main focus priority if you're going to be doing one at a time and not just dropping everything into those T5 units all at the same time. Your second priority, in my opinion, should be your infantry. Infantry is an amazing unit as far as like what it's needed. What it's needed for in war is just basically to be a meat shield. You stick 7, 8, 9, depending on how many you have, out in front of all your your marksmen and mages, and they're going to take the brunt of that damage and stop people from being able to get to your mages. So like they're super important. That's why I would put them second in that line, just because of the fact that they're extremely important for those fights and what you need them for. Third for this right here would be your marksman, in my opinion. Some of the marksman marches Kanara and different things. They just do so much damage. They have a little less range than mages, but they still do amazing damage, and I think overall probably more damage than what mages do, depending on your build and if you have awakened heroes or not. So that's kind of why they're third. They just don't do that AoE burst damage like mages, which is why they're third on this list. And then finally, of course, you're going to do your cav last. Depending on what season you're in, you could really have this higher, but basing this off of season 2, with the actual season 2 map, Cav's going to be extremely hard to play, or at least your base Cav. Of course, if you're running a Ferendil and doing flying Cav, it's going to be a lot easier because you're going to be able to go over the mountains and rivers and whatnot. That's a part of these maps, so that's something to consider when you're thinking about that. But flying Cav is going to be your special unit anyway, even if you are Spring Wardens. So Cav will be last on this list, and then of course your special unit will be last. You have to unlock all the rest of them anyway. Really, the most important thing to remember when you're going for your T5s and you're prioritizing what you should do first, a lot of it will be based on your heroes as well, because of the fact that you might have awakened Kanara before you have an awakened Lily if you haven't if you can't spend. So it's one of those things, or maybe an infantry or a cav. Maybe you have an awakened cav march. With that being said, if that is the case, then sure, if you have an awakened Emrys, then go cav first. Like it makes the most sense. It's going to be your best hero. But if anything is really close to it, mage wise, if your Lily is done, if you've able to put that investment to max that Lily out, then mages are just going to overall be the best to prioritize first. They do the most damage in those big fight situations, and I think that's extremely important for a whole group, whether you're a T4, a T5, it really doesn't matter. especially in those early T5 stages where you just have one unlocked. You need to be able to do this. Plus, you can break up a Lillian Valen and run 2 marches and just heavy make your T5 mages while you're still working on the other stuff. And you're going to be really competitive and help your group out a ton. But with that being said, that's pretty much just the order that I would prioritize them in, and kind of the order I did prioritize mine in. I was able to get them, of course, a lot faster than other people because I do spend. But with that being said, I still used, that same method of, taking a little longer than a lot of people did. But yeah, that's my list. So I hope this video helps you out when you're trying to go for your T5s and what you should prioritize first. With that being said, we're going to wrap this up right here. So if you don't mind, smash that like button, pound on it, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, see you out.